Oh my god, is this a dream? Is it a dream? Is it actually? Is it an actual dream? Is this actually happening? We did it, guys. We did it. We got our show back. Oh my god, I genuinely cannot believe we have done it. I still feel now, literally waiting for somebody to literally just pinch me, and I'll wake up. I was like, oh, was that? Oh, that was just a nice, lovely dream. Nope, it happened. It actually happened. We got BBUK back. Wow, I can't believe it. Cannot believe it's happened. Because I was familiar with every single rumour that's been going around. I had seen every single one. I thought, no, that would be lovely, but it's not gonna happen. I just couldn't see how it would happen because what broadcast would take it? I don't think Channel 4 would take it back. Channel 5 would definitely wash their hands with it. So it just leaves. He just doesn't know who could have took it on, and yet the obvious answer was stabbed in the face. ITV. Oh wow. The thing for me, the reason why it was more hard to believe that this could happen is because I do remember 4 years ago the end on Channel 5, and for me that did feel final. That did feel very, very, very final. Despite the fact that Channel 5 did not make an effort to be like, oh, this is the last series of Big Brother on Channel 5, no. By the fact they just did not make a single effort at all, and let's face it, that finale was more of a whimper than a bang, and this was supposed to be the last ever BBUK episode. Not great, was it? Because it's funny, the two endings, the Channel 4 ending and the Channel 5 ending. With the Channel 4 ending, I was like, oh, yeah, this is really, really sad. Because Channel 4 was the best time of Big Brother. It's like, oh, it's all really sad. And how they made an effort to it. With the theme and how we even had I think I remember probably we had a proper funeral. We actually did do a proper. They got a gravestone. They actually put a gravestone in the garden. I was like, oh, this is really, really sad. But at the same time, I was like, well, there's talks it might be going to a new channel, so it's fine. So we can't get too sad. And even though on the last ever Channel 4 Big Brother, we made all this big grand occasion of it. We got a band to play the theme tune and all the ad interludes. We got the fireworks and everything. We went out with a bang. It didn't feel like that's properly the end because there were still these talks of, oh, it might be going to a new channel. So even though it was sad, the Channel 4 ending, you couldn't feel sad because at the same time that was that little thing of hope. With Channel 5, on the other hand, don't get me started. With Channel 5, for me, going into that final series, so BB19, it generally felt like, this is the end. That is it. It's over. But, I mean, Channel 5, they didn't have the decency to brace us for it. It was like, thank you very much, and that's your lot. And yeah, I remember watching the finale, and I just couldn't get upset by it because it was just like, it's just. I mean, it was only 75 mins, if I remember rightly. That's not including adverts. It just all got fair, just whizzed through. It was just like everybody was just being rushed. It was all like Channel 5 couldn't wait to swing the axe. It just felt really, 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 really rushed, and I just felt, well, that's it. That's the end now. That's the end. It's gone. We're not gonna get our show back. It was great while it lasted, but unfortunately, that is it. That is the end. But here's the beauty of the Big Brother fandom. We don't know when we've been beaten. We don't. And that's the beauty of be involved in the Big Brother fandom. It's unlike any other reality TV show fandom because we literally live, eat, and breathe the show. Even when a local version for us isn't on or being produced, or we don't have one anymore, we're still involved with the game. We are still fascinated by the game. We go and keep an eye on other countries' Big Brothers. For me, I keep an eye on the US and Canada ones. I've been doing that ever since 2016. So that would be BB Cam 4 and BBUS 16. Yes, I think yep. Or was it 18? Sorry, 18. Get the number. Yeah. Let me do this correctly. Yeah, 18. Sorry. BB16 was 2014. No. So I've been following those two since 2016. So that's BB18 and BB Cam 4. Those are my first two of those countries that I watched. Yeah, so it's brilliant. And we keep talk around and breathe and try our best to keep the torch going, the flame alive. And obviously for us in the UK, the last 4 years, it's all been about trying to bring it back. And with the Stay BB UK hashtag and everything. So I just thought, it'd be lovely to get back, but it's probably not going to happen. Yeah, so lo and behold, we've done it. And I think this has been kind of like a sort of like bide our time thing, because since the end in 2018, it was just like, well, what now? What? It's gone. That's it. We've left all these lovely memories. Well, lovely memories of the Child 4 era, not lovely memories of the Child 5 era. But yeah, and obviously since it was about since Easter this year, we first got the signs of maybe it could be coming back, maybe it could be going, and I was like, right, okay, yeah, that's nothing I've seen before. I've seen plenty of those in the last 4 years. What's this one different? I just sort of very skeptical with any rumor I hear about Brother UK, because I'm like, well, it'd be lovely, but it's probably not going to happen. It's just not. Because the show clearly did by the end of B19. The show clearly needed a rest. It needed time away because the state it was in. It really needed time away. Is 5 years, because obviously next year 2023 when it comes back, it will have been 5 years. Is 5 years a big of a gap? I think only time will tell. Only time will tell if that's been a long enough gap or not, but we'll see. But yeah, so I just could not believe it when that teaser came up. Because it was the 1st of August, 2022. Oh, this is a funny day. This was a funny day. So I woke up, doing all that to do, check on Showbiz News, saw the article, say, it looks like ITV's inked a deal. I was like, right, well, hold on, let's not get skeptical. And literally on social media almost flooding, it's like, there might be some injuries in the Love Island's finale, there might be some injuries in the Love Island. So I was like, right, I can guess what a lot of the fandom's going to be doing around about 9 o'clock, and that is tuning in to watch the final of Showman's Island. So I can't take that seriously. I just don't get how that is so popular. I've only ever watched one full series of Love Island, and that was the year after Big Brother in the UK ended. It was the 2019 series. I thought, right, well, there's no Big Brother anymore. I've got no excuses not to avoid it. Okay, let's see why does everyone love it so much? And oh my god, I just felt it was like I was so bored. I literally was so bored. It was like watching paint dry. I was like, this is just so boring. I mean, all they're doing is what? Having a nice, lovely 8-week holiday to get to be on the telly. And of course, given the many showmans we've seen on Big Brother over the years, I'm like thinking, they're not going to last. They're already in there to stay in the game. That's all you do in Love Island. You just pair with somebody to stay in the game long enough to get to the final and win half of £50,000. They don't stay with each other afterwards. It was just so boring. Plus, I don't go out, don't hang out with people like that. All you get on Love Island is just sexy 20-something-year-olds. I'm like, that's not a true representation of the United Kingdom. Also, there were only straight people on there as well, so that's another thing as well. I was like, well, the point I'm trying to make is on Big Brother, we got a fair representation of the United Kingdom. We had all varieties. We had all sorts of people on there. We had not just black and white people. We also had transgender people. We had gay people. We had all sorts. Sorts on Big Brother, and that was one of the beauties of Big Brother. So was that you got to see people from all different walks of life that you never would have seen before, and that is what helped make the show absolutely brilliant. And also, there was a fair amount of young and old people. You got a good mix, whereas with Love Island, unless you're under the age of 30, don't even think about it. Because we did have quite a fair few old people on the show in Big Brother, and they did do quite well. So yeah, so age is another thing that we had a variety, but yeah, so I didn't watch the final of Love Island because I was like, right, well, I've heard from the grapevine, there's gonna be something, there might be something, so I thought, right, I was like, after every ad break, I was like, is it, nope, is it, nope, I was like, come on, and then the last ad break, that trailer dropped, literally, you heard the music, it was like, oh my god, that's the PG. And then they made their own eye. I was like, because there you go, there it is, there it is, official confirmation, there you go, it's now official, and I can now start talking about it again. It's just like, yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, so it's official, Big Brother is coming back to the UK, we've done it, we've won. So 2023, Big Brother is going to be moving to itv2 for BBUK 20. Yep. We never seem to finish on a nice round number. Whenever we leave a channel, we always end on an odd number. For Channel 4, it was BB11, and for Channel 5, it was BB19. So we never seem to end a channel era on a nice, even round number. Which doesn't help for next year, because obviously, whenever it's a 20 series, you should separate something, but we can't really do that next year, because next year has to be a clean slate. Okay, this is what. So I'm about to now get into what I was talking about at the video. Why it's exciting that it's coming back. I want to now talk my thoughts going into this, because I will admit, while I'm absolutely thrilled to have my show back, I am very, very, very sceptical about this, mainly because of what Channel 5 did. Channel 5 literally wrecked the show and put it in a state that just literally was just unattractable for, not just for a viewer, but for any potential investor who might have, at the time, wanted to take our Channel 5 bands, but thought, nah, I'm not touching that baggage. It was just dreadful. So, for me, whenever I've been thinking, oh, if people ever would come back, I always would feel, if it's going to come back, it's got to come back properly. It can't just be, oh, like a nice little one-off thing, and then we go back to the dungeons again, and get put back on the shelf. It's got to come back properly, so that it's got a good, decent lifespan going forward on ITV2. We want this to also become a staple as well. Despite the fact ITV's market is very, very crowded with all its dating shows. And the fact there's now going to be 2 Love Islands. I'll get to that in a moment. So yeah, because I am very sceptical, but that's only because of what Channel 5 did. I'm just like, because for me, towards the end of it, I was like, I can't keep this up any longer. It's like, this is not the show I loved all the way back in 2002. Yep, I've been watching the show from a very, very young age. And the beauty of watching the US and Canadian versions is I discovered I'm not the only person who watched Big Brother when they were only little. Quite a lot of BP players in the US and Canada, they've watched it for very young too. So yeah, I don't feel like I wasn't the only one. Although their version of the game is obviously, as you know, is a lot different to ours. So they could get away with it. I probably shouldn't have been able to get away with it, but I did. Oh, but yeah. So, well, at the same time, like, I'm excited for it. Yeah, it's going to be great. At the same time, I'm also a little bit skeptical. But I feel we've got to give ITV at least a go. Let's see if they can do it. Let's see if they can put their own stamp to it. Let's see if they can make the show what it once was. Yeah, I mean, if they do Love Island, then it should be a problem. So, let's go over what we know. So, we know that BBC UK will be coming back next year in 2023 onto our screens. We currently don't know when it's going to broadcast, although there's a... because, as we all know, our old slot, our summer slot, that is now pretty much out the window. Okay. And we saw in the last 2 years we're fighting a losing battle with Love Island and everything. Now, in 2023, ITV is going to be doing 2 editions of Love Island. They're going to be doing a winter Love Island and they're going to do a summer Love Island. So, already I'm thinking, oh, ITV, don't make the mistake trying to find a deal with Celebrity Big Brother. Don't saturate your format. Don't saturate it, because that's what's going to happen if you keep doing that. Don't saturate it. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Because obviously, for you Love Island fans, while you might be thinking, oh yeah, it's going to be great, you're going to get 2 series next year, yay. Well, for us, at the time when Channel 5 gave us 2 celebrity series, we thought, oh yeah, this is great, yay. But eventually, it just got a bit, it just got a bit sort of, it was just sort of wearing thin. And plus, a lot of celebrities Channel 5 got, they weren't really proper celebrities, so. And by the end, it was like, oh, I just prefer you just gave us the civilian format. That's nothing to talk about. Right. So, let's go with what we know. So we know it's coming back in 2023. We just don't know when. And of course, obviously we're having 2 editions of Love Island. That also sort of limits the options of when you can do it. Because you can either do it around about Easter, or you could do it around about autumn time. Depending on which. When the show does come back, we know it's going to be on for just 6 weeks. I know. I've done my research. That means that BB20 is going to be the shortest season of Big Brother, not just in the UK, but worldwide. For the civilian version. Yep. Now, at first I was quite surprised at this, because of like 6 weeks, that is not a lot of time to get to know your fair house guests, to form those connections in the game, you know, and trying to see out who is or who's not going to be on your side, who would want to maybe get you out, any showmans, because there'll be one at least. It's not a lot of time, but at the same time, I think we've got to sort of make do with what we've got, what we've been given. The fact that we're getting our program back, our show back alone, I think that is just a big goal at the moment. So, and apparently other people say, well, that's how Love Island started on ITV. They started off with a 6-week stint, and then they worked their way up to getting what is now basically 8 weeks. So let's see, if this goes well next year in 2023, then maybe we can then go to negotiate until well, actually we'd like the same as Love Island, because I think 8 weeks would be enough, and I think the latter Child Bias series work around that 8-week mark, so 8's sort of fine. Normally 10's your sort of weeks would be sort of minimum, but that probably might be a bit too much for ITV to handle. So yeah, so I'm kind of not through it, because 6 weeks it will go by it will go by. Literally, Lord will happen, like, yeah, it's back. And literally, like, zoom, like, oh my god, everybody cries the winner! So yeah, so the 6 weeks will fly by. So we're not by. So when it does come back next year, we've got to make the most of it because it will go fly by. But this could be for now. And if it goes well, then we can sort of go to the negotiating and say, actually, can we have a bit? Can we have the same number of weeks as Love Island? Can we do that? Because if the generation you want can handle 8 weeks of Love Island, they can surely handle 8 weeks of Big Brother. It'll be fine. Speaking of crowning the winner, what we do also know, and this is probably a key thing for the format, we do know that we will have, what we do know will be definitely coming back is we will have nominations, we will have live evictions, and we'll have the public playing a crucial role in voting throughout the series and ultimately deciding who's going to win. So that's a key element of the game that was made here in BB UK. So clearly that is basically the sign off. We're going to go back to basics. That I think is the idea behind what ITV wants to do. They want to take the show back to basics. They want to go back to the beginning, so all the way back to the heyday 2000, and try and replicate that success. It'll be tricky because that format can only last so long, and I was getting tired towards the end. And also, with the BBS and Canada formats, I think they would be exciting you to see the game unfold, but it's probably a bit too much for the public, given how they're used to this style of Big Brother, so let's keep it like that. It's probably, yeah. As much as I would love to see the US and Canada formats get replicated here in the UK, and I've been saying, well, that could be the change that would be needed to refresh the format. There is also another part of things. Well, actually, maybe it's too big of a change. Maybe it's one step too far. We did have a go on the final Big Brothers of Channel 4 and Channel 5. We did have a go incorporating Southern elements. We did have a go at doing our own Power Beta competition in both BB11 and BB19. But we didn't call that. I'm just going to bring them up. So, 1 second. In Big Brother... Oh god, bear me 1 second, kids. Okay, that's moved. There we go. Right, give me 1 sec. Right, 1 second. Shift to the full one, shouldn't I? Right. Right, here we go. So in BB11 we had what was called the save and replace. So what it was a competition. It was a competition similar to the Power Beta competition in obviously the American and Canadian formats, but done differently. So what it would be is the housemates that got nominated. Oh, that's going to be tricky for me next year because I've got so used now to saying house guests. That's going to be another thing I'm going to need to get back to saying next year. Housemates. So the housemates that were up for eviction after the nominations round, they would compete in a competition, and the winner of that competition would stay themselves and take themselves off the block. They would then have to pick a house guest to replace them on the block. So basically, similar to like the Diamond Parabito, but it's not really the same. And after that, those 3 on the block would stay on the block and face the eviction night, or how many house guests there were. Because here in the UK with nominations, we never had quite a set format. Because whoever has the most nominations goes on the block, and sometimes that would be it would always be at least 2. Sometimes it'd be 3, or if there's ever a tie, it'd be anybody in the tie goes on the block. So it got quite messy as this was. Yeah, so that's what we had in Big Brother 11. In Big Brother 90, we incorporated a lot of features that were featured in the that are in the US and Canadian versions. So we incorporated the fast forward night. So in double evictions or triple evictions here in Canada, you basically play a week of the game in one night. We sort of did our own version of that, but it wasn't really quite didn't work out quite well. We did that. We did that, and we also had our own another take on the Parabito competition. Except this time it was called the Game Changer competition. Very similar to what we had in BB11. Is that whoever was on the block after that week's round of nominations, they would compete in a competition, and the way it would work is whoever wins that competition, they would then have a decision to make. They could either, if it was somebody who was nominated, they could either take themselves off the block, take one of the other nominees on the block, or basically the nominations the same. Basically, it was our goal of doing a Parabito ceremony, but it just didn't work because we don't have a head of household and so forth, and we don't do eviction voting. So yeah. And I remember thinking, hang on, this looks very familiar. Where do I know it from somewhere? Oh, Canada! And the US! There we go, but they do it 10 times better because that's how they play the game. We don't play that style of game. So yeah, it was a very, very pathetic attempt to do a Parabito competition ceremony with Big Brother being the master of the ceremony, so it just did not work. Well, and of course, here in the UK, because we're not introduced to that sort of game start, they basically just always took themselves off the block. It was pathetic. It was there. So we have tried in previous years to have a go at doing some of the gameplay elements, which you may know from the North American one, but it just didn't work. The Big Brother one was brilliant. I loved that. That was brilliant because it was simple. The nominees play their competition, get opportunity to save themselves. One of them comes off the block. They choose to go to their place. That's who's up for eviction. Boom, end off. Now pick up your phones and boats. The way we had it just did not work because they literally tried to replicate the Parabitos like that. It's not gonna work. It's not working. Stop it. It's not making a form. It helps. Oh dear. Yeah. So I've always argued, on the one hand, I'd love to see the US Canadian version replicated in the UK because I think it would be such a refreshing change. But at the same time, I think, hang on, the UK might not be ready for that. It might be a bit too much to handle. We have had a go at doing strategic reality game shows with the Circle, but I don't know if that quite ended up working well as it could have done. So, let me finish off the video by saying what I'd like to see from Big Brother on ITV. The first thing I'd like to see is I want it to feel like this is a fresh start, okay? Because this is an opportunity to rejuvenate Big Brother UK. This is a huge opportunity to rejuvenate it and bring it up to date, but at the same time, it still feels like the same show we all know and loved what will be at the time of 2023, 23 years ago. Or for me, 21 years ago, because my first series was BB3. BB UK 3. I've already told you what the first US and Canadian BBs were. BB18, BB104. So there's a big opportunity. So that means we should do a fresh start. So, literally, it's got to feel like brand new, but at the same time, it's still got to build the same show we all know and loved back in its heyday. That's one thing. The second thing I'd like to see is, I know there are rumours about this, the second thing I'd like to see is, I would like to see a brand new host. I loved Davina, loved Emma, they made the show their own, but I think the time has come to get somebody new in. So somebody that's not connected to Big Brother before. So, I mean, you could argue we couldn't maybe get a former house guest, but we tried that, didn't we, with Brian? It didn't work, did it? No. But, yeah. So I want to see a brand new house, and I am hearing rumours that there are talks about this. That ITV might decide, well, we want somebody new, and that's good. So, but I think a fresh face would be really exciting, and I think they could bring their own take to the show. Next thing I want to see is, I would love to see the Eye come back. This was a staple among our Big Brother, and this is what made our Big Brother different to other Big Brothers. Other Big Brothers just use a straightforward logo. We incorporated the Eye element, and that was absolutely amazing, because every single series we changed it and made it absolutely different. And everyone's got their favourite eyes over the year. I think for me, for Channel 4, my favourite was BB7, and for Channel 5, I'm not too sure my favourite on Channel 5 was. I think maybe the one on what was 2012? 2012 BB13. Yeah, I think I quite like BB13 with all those different colours and those blocks. They were quite lovely. So they were my first. And also the first one they did on Channel 5 BB12, that was a great one too. It was just so simple and slick. It was just something easy. So I'd love to bring back. What ITV wants to do with it, who knows? Because you can maybe change it and make it look different to watch different templates. Obviously, Channel 5, when they took the rights, they just used a different template to Channel 4. You could do that. You could use the old that. The Eyes definitely want to see. I'd love to see what ITV would do. Their own version of the Eye. That's another thing I'd love to see. Next thing we want to see is, and this is the big one, no production meddling. Alright? This is the big one. And if you're currently watching BB24 in the US, you know what I mean. Don't bring twists in just for the sake of you doing a twist. Alright? Literally, the Channel 5 era was just so much full of production meddling. The amount of interfering they did with the game, it was just... And we all could see it. They all thought, oh, they know, oh, we'll just do this and the viewers won't notice. Ha! Ha ha! This is not our first rodeo. We know you're meddling up with the game. Stop it. Alright? Because eventually... It just got to the point where I was like, oh, this is for goodness sake. And they kept bringing out some of the same twists year and year, like the bed stick. It was iconic in BB5, but you kept bringing it out year in, year out. It's like, that twist is worn thin. Ugh. Plus, you use that as a way to keep in the controversial house guests. No, we want them out. I'll go to that in a moment. So yeah, so no production meddling. If you're going to bring a twist in, do it. Find a reason for that twist. Don't just bring the twist in because, oh, we've got this great idea for a twist and we'll think it will abuse a little bit. No, we don't like twists. I'm saying twists by the time it started to get a little bit sort of tongue-tied. Twists. Saying too much now. Yeah, but if you're currently watching BB24, oh my god, have we had on Big Brother 24 yet? Have we had a week where there's been no twist? Have we had a twist-free week? Because I don't think we have. I don't think we will until final 3. I'm not looking forward to this double eviction twist. The leftovers are going to be in trouble. I can feel it. Yeah. But so that's what I do not want. I do not want production meddling, because that's what brought the Channel 5 era down to a crashing blaze of inferno. Don't bring twists in for the sake of bringing in twists. We don't like them, and more times than most, they just ruin the game. The game works as it is by just letting the house guests mingle and create the content. It works better than trying to force drama. That's not what I want to see. Right, next what I want to see, this is crucial. Now we know that the viewers are going to get to vote. We know that at the end of the day, who wins? We decide! And I'm also going to assume we also will play a hand in the evictions. So, here's what I want to see. The next big thing I want to see is I want the voting to be vote to evict. Alright, to evict the house guests. It's that old-fashioned argument. What's better, voting to evict or voting to save? Because this was an argument we did not need to have, but Channel 5 raged the war when they took the brand. They, in the first series, did vote to save. And I thought, oh my god. And as we saw with vote to save, the good house guests all kept being voted out because they weren't getting enough votes to be saved, because they weren't doing anything to save themselves. And it just didn't make sense, because the house guests obviously nominate people who they want to see out of the house. So really, we, the viewers, should be voting for who we want to see out of the house, vice versa. It just did not. And it just made very, very, very boring Channel 5 series. And we had quite a lot, particularly the celeb series, we had quite a lot of shocking evictions, like Natalie Cassidy. I thought she was going to win that year on CB, on that celebrity series, but no, vote to save. Saw her out. It just didn't work. A lot of the good house guests got voted out because we weren't voting enough to save them. It was that egg when I thought, oh well, the public thought they might be saved, so you don't need to pick up the phone to vote for them. No, if you like somebody, vote for them. It's the same on Strictly. It's the same on X Factor. If you love, all the other shows, so Dancing Line, I'm a Celebrity. If you love the person in the game, pick up the phone, vote for them. But we don't want to do that. We want to vote people out. We want to vote people out of the game. We want them out of the game. Alright? And I was so thrilled. I think it was in BB 14. They brought. I think it was BB 14 or was it BB 15? It was one of those years. They did bring Boat to a bit back, but only for the civilian version. And I was like, ugh. Because for the whole Channel 5 on Celebrity Big Brother, it was Boat to save, and of course, as we all know, that did not end well. God, so much Big Brother history. God, I'm trying to remember it all. Let me try and look it up. Eventually, Channel 5 did learn their lesson and decided, right, okay, well, the puppet rather would like to evict the house guests rather than save the house guests. So they thought, so let's see if we can find it. Might not be able to find it. But I also should say about eviction shows, I think we need to have a set style to that. I can't find it. I think it was BB 14. I think that was the series where Channel 5 thought, right, yeah, actually, the public would rather like to vote out the house guests. Let's bring that back. But on Channel 5 the eviction shows, there was not a set format on how to do it. They kept altering it each year. Whereas on Channel 4, it was simple. On Channel 4, it was, right, we'll do highlight show, then we'll do a half-hour break, then we'll come back and bring the evictee out. To all the boos, the hisses. And then, get someone out! Get someone out! That needs to come back. That needs to come back. That was brilliant. That's what made Eviction out of Big Brother UK different. Because in Big Brother UK, we had no problem making our feelings heard about a certain house guest. If we didn't like them, we would chant to get them out. But it's quite effective on certain seasons, particularly on BB7. That was the best one. Oh dear. But so we need a set format. Maybe do what Channel 4 did and go back to that. So, highlight show, half an hour break, then we come back and bring them out. You know, do like a half an hour thing. But yeah, so I'd like it to be vote to evict. It's got to be vote to evict. Because vote to save did not end well because the wrong people kept coming out. Because, as I said, a lot of people thought, oh, I don't need to vote, that'll be fine. That's the problem with voting to save on any show. It gives people a false security. It's like, oh, they probably well like, they'll be still in there. And then when you see them not, and they come out of the show, you're like, oh. It's like, well, did you vote? Well, no, because I thought they'd be safe. Well, there you go. Whereas if you give people opportunity to vote people out, they will tend to pick up the phone more because they'll know, right, if I don't like so I can go and get them out. Yeah, so I'd like it to be vote to evict. Sticking with evictions and nominations, the next big thing I'd like to see is a certain. This is to do with the number of house guests nominated. I'd like each week to be a set number of house guests on that block. Because we never really knew what to do, both on Channel 4 and Channel 5. We never really knew what to do in the event of a tie. Because there would every now and then, there would be a number of tie, and a couple of people have got the same number of nominations. What we would do here in the UK is basically, whichever gets the most nominations goes on the block. Normally it would be 2, but obviously in the event of ties, it'd be everybody in the tie goes on the block. So I think we need a set number of nominees. 2 at minimum, maybe 3. So 2 definitely. I think what we could do is maybe in the event of a tie, we could either do, because obviously we're not going to do a head of household, are we? Are we? No, probably not. In the event of a tie, I don't know what we could do. Probably both! Because it is that the public will be voting throughout. So maybe we could break the tie and decide, right, that's who should go up instead, maybe? No. We can workshop that. But we need to like a set, because it can't be 1 week, oh, we got 2 people on the block. Another week, oh, there was like 4 people distant in the reverse, we put them on the block, then the next week's 3. It's like, ah! We need a set number. So 2 probably at the bare minimum, and then maybe 3, and then I don't know what we could do with a bit of a tie. We need to do something. We need to do something to do with a tie. I don't know. Now, I'm not sure if I can think of any other things after this next one, but we'll see. The last sort of main thing I want to see is toughening down on the rule breaking. Yes. Oh yes, because in Big Brother there are rules, and in Big Brother's past, house guests don't follow those rules, particularly the big no-no rule in discussing nominations. Yeah, yes, here in the UK, it's a big no-no to discuss your nominations or try to influence people to nominate in a certain way. It's against the rules. But every year, there was always one person. There always would be one outbreak. Is like, oh, God. Now, Channel 4 were very, very strict when it came to nominations in those days. For example, They used to keep the house guests in the diary room until they could come up with a valid reason for nominating. I was like, yes! Because obviously if you're going to nominate somebody, you've got to have a convincing reason as to why you want to put that house guest on the block and potentially be out the door. And what was brilliant about Channel 4 is if Big Brother ever got a whiff of that house guest is not really a good enough excuse, they would just say, no, you need to come up with a better reason for that. And kept him in the diary room until then. So nominations on Channel 4 would normally take quite a long time. Even though it's sort of edited down for the show, it would take a long time. Because the house guests would be stuck in that diary room trying to think, right, why do I want to nominate Grace? Not because I don't like her. Or something like that. It would just be out. On Channel 5, it sort of got a bit relaxed. And a lot of the... oh, God. I used to not look forward to nominations down on Channel 5 because a lot of the excuses would be like, oh, I want to nominate so-and-so. My first nomination is so-and-so because last night we had this big barmy in the bedroom and or I want to nominate so-and-so because they had a food fight, or I want to nominate so-and-so because they were breathing. I'm like, these are not good reasons to nominate a house guest for potential eviction. It's like, bollocks! Honestly. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's fine, you can go. You're free to leave the diary room. It's like, no! It's just, so, you need to toughen. And whenever they did rule breaking, there was a lot of rule breaking on Channel 5. All they did was just turn hot water off. And turn electrical. I was like, that's not good with a punishment. A punishment needs to be something that will make the accused, the wronged person, go, alright, okay, I do not do that. I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. I won't do it ever again. Well, on Channel 5, they just kept doing it again, because their hot water just kept going on and on. Whereas on Channel 4, some of their punishments were very strict. Like, for instance, 1 week, if a house guest had been caught breaking the rules about the outside world, everybody would get put on the block. That happened 1 week. Everybody got put on the block. Sometimes on Channel 4, they would say to the house guests, right, your nominations are now null and void. So they would remove theirs from the tally, and that would then change things around. One time, a select group of house guests would broke the rules about nominations. They were made to nominate what were their offenders face to face before the initial nomination round kicked in. So yeah. So what I see from ITV is you toughen down on the rules, okay? If someone's discussing nominations, hit them hard with the rule, with the punishment. If they talk about the outside world, lay the law down. Don't just simply turn the hot water on or off, because they just will not learn their lesson. If you're going to do a punishment, make it a harsh punishment, so it's something they will never, ever, so they won't be like to do again. I've got an idea for a punishment for the nominations. I think if a house guest is discussing nominations, put them on the block. Straightforward. Just simply put them on the block. And if they go, well, they served them right. Although I can imagine in an eviction dispute, they'll be like, but I shouldn't have been on the block this week. Well, I'll bet my home sitting. Well, you shouldn't have been discussing nominations. You would still be in the house. Alright? I think that'd be a good punishment. Yeah, if I was in charge of it, that's what I'd do. House gets discussion nominations, put them on the block. Put them on the block. That will teach them. If they go, well then, oh well, serves them right. Shouldn't have been breaking the rules. Alright? We need to toughen down on the rule, because Big Brother is not fair. Big Brother at times can be harsh, he can be cruel, and he rebels in it. Alright? So we need to toughen down on the rules. Because these were, for people in the UK, these were sacred rules. And Channel 4 doesn't like, well, do what you like. You want to discuss nominations, feel free. You want to talk about what's going outside, feel free. We don't really care. We'll just turn your hot water off and make you shout off and all that. So toughen down on the rules. That is what I want to see. And I think that's kind of it with my list of things I'd like to see itv2 do. I could go on and on and on and on. But, yeah, we could be all night. The fire vehicles is obviously we need to have a good, diverse mix of house guests. And ITV in their statement have promised they are going to carefully select the house guests so they represent all walks of life. But with that, I'm more of a, well, I'll believe that when I see it, mate. Alright? You may promise that, but I'll believe it when I see it. Okay? I'll give you a fair hearing, but if this does not go well, then it's going to be on your hands, bit. So there we go. So it just still feels like a dream. I just still feel like somebody's gonna come and pinch me, like like that. So it's gonna pinch me like that, and I'm gonna jump, and I'm gonna wake up like, oh, it's a really lovely dream. Big Brother's coming back to the UK 2023, ITV2. It just does not still feel real. Any news now that comes out between now and it's aired in 2023, it's just not going to feel real. It's just still like, is this really happening? So we did it. We did it, guys. And I think it also does give us hope that if it does go wrong on ITV, well, we can just do we did the past 4 years, keep banging on until somebody says, alright, we'll do it. Although we probably are running out of options, because we've done Channel 4, we've done Channel 5, we've now done ITV, we're probably running out of options to go to. But hey! That's what you need to learn about us, Big Brother fans. We literally don't know when we're beaten. We just refuse to go down for the count. And that's the beauty of it, and that's what we're going to keep doing. And that's how we're going to keep our show going. It's just, oh, I can't believe it. Just can't believe it. It's just been amazing. Yeah, so let's party, let's celebrate, and just look forward to what is going to be a big year now for Big Brother, because providing, well, we know Big Brother Canada's coming back for BB Can 11. Whether or not Big Brother US is going to come back for BB 25, we do not know at this time. But if let's say both those does, that means, oh my god, we've got a big year of Big Brother in 2023. Because you'll have in the spring, you'll have BB Can 11. In the summer, you would have BB 25. And then probably around like autumn time, which I think probably might be the more likeliest time to do it, you get BB UK 20. We should be doing some form of content to celebrate the 2020 series, but of course we can't, because next year it's got to be all about ITV making its mark, putting its stamp on the brand. But they could maybe do some side shows or some social media content to celebrate 20 years, looking back over what's on its behind. But or maybe that's something we could do. Yeah, maybe that's something we can do. But yeah, just celebrate, party. It's back, people. We did it. We won. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you've loved the show, do click the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, click that subscribe button. Then that way you'll never miss a thing when new content comes out on the channel. And to be notified about all latest videos, click the bell. Until next time, all that's left me to say is, Big Brother is always with you. Au revoir.